Hello and welcome to RPR GP2 round. Oh, I've completely lost track of what round it is now. Round 12, Brazil. So only a few races left in the season. Johnny Stokes is looking good to take the championship. If he wins tonight, that will be his second, possibly even his third championship, drivers' championship in a row. And we start with a wet qualifying. Don't know how long the rain's going to last, but I'm sure the drivers will be happy. Maybe not. I know some of them have just done a race around Singapore that seems to have taken an absolute age, which is why we're slightly behind time tonight. So now just waiting for the drivers to come out on track and waiting to be able to put the detail up as well. Hopefully the game's not crashed on everyone. So while we're waiting, I'll run through the standings as they are at the moment. Johnny Stokes is in first with an 83-point lead over Evan. Evan's not racing tonight, and I don't believe he will be for the rest of the season as he's moved and changed jobs, which means he's not able to make the races, unfortunately. Frenzy is sitting in third on 98 points, so he's 132 behind Johnny. Decky's in fourth. James Owls in fifth. He's been away for a few weeks, but he is back tonight, so we'll see how he does. Island Boy in sixth. Lister in seventh. Dara's in eighth, tied on points with Matty. Scorito in 10th. Craig in 11th. GTC in 12th, tied with Hepburn. Mrs. Carl in 14th, tied with Hobo. Love Hate Games in 16th. We've got Night Sniper, Scotty and Flea all tied on 6 points, and Comms currently in 20th. And so let's see if anyone's given us an update on what the weather for the race. No one's given me an update yet on what the weather is for the race. So all we know at the minute is it's a wet quali. You've got Lister and Pint Size both out on their outlaps. Lister's on the inters. Let's get some detail up. Trying to keep an eye on Discord at the same time. Not the best at multitasking, as I'm sure you'll know by now. So, first to start their time lap will be Pint Size. So DRS is enabled, even though it is wet and everyone is on inters. That's interesting. So does that mean it's going to be drying up, or the game thinks they can risk it with a bit of DRS? So as we follow Lister through turn 3, down the pit exit straight, got the DRS open, gets his braking alright on the limit for track limits there, or at least looked it from spectator view. Into the slow infield section now, into turn 8. Got a little bit of traffic in front of him. Hopefully they're going to see him come in and move out of the way and not hold him up. Here's Mercedes in front. Yeah, he's pulled out of the way now, so Lister can come round for the final run to the hill to the line. Teammate for tonight is in front of him. Pint Size sets a 122 and Lister comes across to do a 116.9. So he's then got the Mercedes behind him. We'll be looking to get past on this straightaway marathon as Lister's invalidated. And then both Ferraris keeping out the way nicely there. Island Boys come across to do a 118.4. We've got McLaren coming across the Cons to do a 117.2. Next, that looks like Hepburn's going to be. No, Hepburn's invalidated that lap. Decky. No, Decky's in the pits. Love-hate on and out lap. There's the Aston. It's on the track. It's Johnny Stokes coming up to finish his lap now. It's the DRS Open. Up to the start finish straight, and it's going to do a 117.1 to put him second currently. And if you can believe the game track map, that was a purple final sector as well. So we've got James L coming to finish his first time lap for a few weeks. It does a 117.5, so it's a very respectable time considering he's been off the game for a while. Matty has just gone through with the 17.4. Pint size has invalidated this lap. Cons going for another lap. Love8 Games has just picked up a 5-second penalty for a collision with Hobo. 5 place grid penalty for a collision with Hobo. Hopefully that's not going to have affected Hobo too much. Obviously this lap will likely be ruined for him. Johnny Stokes goes fastest there with a 116.8. Hobo crosses the line with a 122.6. That's possibly been affected by the contact with Love8 Games, who's around again in the infield. And pulling off track. So Mrs. Cole starting her flying lap now. We'll stick with Mrs. Cole for this lap, see how she gets on. Got a teammate coming up behind her now. Hopefully that's not going to put her off. I thought Cons will hold back so as not to force an error from Mrs. Carl. As Ludifer rejoins the lobby. Cons is round by the looks of that. So Mr. Cole now coming up the hill for the final couple of left-handers. See what times he's going to set here. Gets the DRS open. Still confusing me that it's a wet lap. Does a 118.7 as her first lap. And we've got Craig in the pit, so that must be Hepburn. He's invalidated. Cons isn't on a competitive lap. Johnny Stokes coming back to set another time on his inters. And there's 118.9 that time. Lister has improved drastically at the front. I missed that. He's now sitting on a 1:16.0. Matty's in second on a 1:16.599. Johnny's still third on a 1:16.8. Scotty's up into fourth on a 1:16.9. Make that fifth on a 1:16.9. As James Howard jumps up to third with a 1:16.8. So for someone who's been away for a few weeks, playing in the fields in Poland, he's certainly not lost his speed. Lewis has gone third on a 1:16.6, so he's got a good pace again, same as he had last week. Let's jump on board with Hobo, see how his second stab at a lap's going. He's done a 17.3, so he's improved on his initial lap. Let's see if he's got any improvement in this. As he comes to the end of sector 2, he's half a second up on his time. What fuel's he got? He's got 5 laps of fuel, so he's got plenty of fuel to keep going. Another couple, got Nevo sitting in 12th on an 18.0. See if he's got any improvement. Looks like there will be an improvement now. Comes across with a 17.4, which takes him up to 10th. As you'll know if you've watched a few of these races now, we lose the bottom 5, or 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th and 20th through the end of Q1, and then Q2 we will lose the bottom 5 again, which will be 11th through 15th. Then we'll have the final shootout in Q3. I'm hoping someone is going to tell me on the comments what the weather is for the rest of the race. Whether we've got a drying session through qualifying and a dry race, or if we've got a wet race. But I guess the same as everyone watching, we'll just have to wait and see. My audio is broadcasting, yes. Apparently Lewis in the pits has set softs. And it sort of indicates there might be dry running coming up. Interesting, because it certainly doesn't look like it's drying on spectator view. So we've got Al Ludifer, who returns as a reserve driver tonight. Let's ride on board. We'll follow him around this lap. So DRS is on. Still looks too wet to risk dries, but it'd be a brave move now to go out on a set of softs. But if it does dry up, that's possibly going to catch Lister out, who's retired looking safe on a 16 dead. But if it dries up and everyone gets an improved time on the softs, Mrs. Cole's now fitting the softs in the pits as well, so could make for an interesting race. Or an interesting qualifying even. So Lewis has retired in the pits, obviously feeling safe on that 16.6. See the sector 1 time for Alula for a 19.2. I've paid no attention to anyone else's sector 1 time, so I have no idea how that compares to everyone else. Quality commentary as always. Okay, Island Boy's saying dry, so I'm assuming that's dry for the race, which will be good. So that means probably everyone's running a compromised setup for qualifying to have the dry setup on for the race. A little bit wide. Through the right-hander for Al Ludifer. Coming up now to sector 3, which is just the run up the hill. Pretty much flat out the whole way. Gets the DRS open. Doesn't cut as much of the pit lane entry as some. And does a 1:19.0 for his first lap. James had a tense last few minutes incoming. Well, we'll see if it. I think you'll be safe through this one, unless you're thinking of risking it on the softs. So that was Scotty improving. Who's that behind? Is that our Nevo behind our Ludifer? Both look to be on laps, which makes it a little bit compromising. Ludifer looks to run a little wide there out of the left-hander. They're all left-handers on this one. Will run up to the line. And Ludifer improves to an 18.6, which keeps it in 16th. And then yields to Nevo, which releases Nevo. So have a good run on this one, hopefully. See if he can improve from P11. Mrs. Carl is out on the softs. So let's jump on board, see how she's getting on. And jumps up to a 1:16.6 on the softs. That's a big improvement for her. So maybe it's not as wet as it looked. Got a yellow in the start sector 3. It's cleared now. So let's come back to Nevo, see how he's getting on. He's facing the wrong way. He's getting on really well then. He's obviously been watching my races from GP1 a bit too close, and he's trying to mimic the chaos that I cause. So Al Ludifer crosses the line as a 1:22, so no improvement there. He needs to find 8/10 on this lap to jump Decky, although Decky is on the lap, so he needs to be looking at. No, he needs more than 8/10. Decky just done a 17.7, so he needs to find a good second here of improvement to see himself through into Q2. I know he did. I've seen a comment from Matty asking how does DRS in this weather. I have no idea. This game is just throwing curveballs left, right and centre of late. So Al Ludifer now coming through to the end of sector 2. Let's see what this split is. He's half a second up. He needs to find a little bit more in this final run up the hill. And we need to find half a second more to see him safely through. This Island Boy's in the pits. And he gets an 18.0, so he improves by 6/10, but unfortunately that keeps him 16th. So at the end of that session, we'll be losing Al Ludifer, Pint Size Geezer, Frenzy, and Love Hate Games. So everyone else progressing through to Q2. So now we'll wait for those that are on their laps just to finish and cross the line. Luda's game has deleted all of his save data. As in, he's lost all his setups, all his car control setups, all his assist settings. That's just insane. Oh, better get the results before they disappear. So, just to confirm, at the end of that, we are losing our Ludifer, Pint Size Geezer, Frenzy, and Love Hate Games. We'll wait and see how the weather progresses into Q2. Whether it's worth. It is going to be an intercession, whether they'll have DRS. So Mrs. Cole did improve again on those softs and went with a 16.0. So there's definitely time to be gained in that session. Seems to be taking a long time to progress through to the next screen. God, I love this game tonight. It seems to be just throwing up no end of concerning issues. Why do I get a feeling? Oh, why do I think the game's crashed? Love Hate Games, need you to ready up. Oh, just what we need. Come on, Ryan. Press advance. This is painful. This is painful. I'm gonna have to call this and reset the lobby, but as we're already well delayed. Yeah. Right, yep, calling it. I can't even reset, can I? I've got to do that. Wait, see, it's going to end the stream, so the stream will restart once I've got the grid set up.